Ulonga tabati yada to ye kuma daifa. Ino to ye ko je love bipa. Oba tala oba takutakun. Songo eshu ogun oya osun. Kini sheshe ton she nile yo. O jelo jara.
Lafayette, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I'm your host, Orisha Bami, and we're back with another one, Tribe. We are back with the mother, Wunam Nicky Love, back in the building. Peace and blessings, Wunam. How you doing today?
Lafayette, peace and blessings. I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
Listen, I was feeling like that earlier. I thought about cracking open a little caffeine, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna suck it up and push through, man. I'm gonna get through this thing one way or another. I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, I ain't like you. I ain't sucked nothing up. I got me a Red Bull. I was drinking it in the car as I was driving around, meeting these nursing home people, and I did some coffee when I got home and started cooking food for Thanksgiving. I don't call it Thanksgiving. I call it Family Day.
I know that's right.
Thanksgiving, nothing. Family Day.
I know that's right. Yeah.
So
I had a Celsius in there looking at me, boy. We were looking at each other, eyeing each other down, boy. I said, no, I'm gonna get through. I'm gonna get through this thing, man. I'm gonna get through. I thought about it. I'd have drunk that, boy. I'd have been up all night, and then I'd have really been in a whole mess tomorrow. So yeah. But with that, shout out to the tribe. Shout out to the new channel subscribers. Shout out to the new Patreon members. Shout out to the Patreon tribe who was in our call last week, man. Powerful call. I meant to tell you, we got some dope feedback. The people was loving it. Even the people who weren't able to make the live that caught the replay, the feedback was great. It was a powerful call, man. So I definitely want to give gratitude to you again for coming through and doing what you do. And then shout out to everybody who was able to make it there with us on the actual live call with the Patreon community. I'm working on setting up the one for this week, tribe, so I look forward to getting that cracking. But before we get to that, we got to finish up this. So with that, oh man, the ancestors, you want to open up before we tap in? Because this is going to be a powerful show. I already know, because they've been showing me a whole lot of alignment and a whole lot of that they hear the presence. So.
Right. You ain't never lying. I feel the same way. I had to put on my ancestor gear. You know what I mean? The voices of your leader. This is some of the gear, and not only that, Essence has been very heavy. You're right. They've been very heavy around us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying, like, in the divinations, in my own, my own life experiencing, and I mean, it's been heavy. I had a dope. Had to go get my energy tuned up today. So even within that experience, like the synchronicities and the alignments are just, it's unbelievable. It's surreal. So I'm ready to dive in tonight for sure.
Okay. Well, you got some people on here. Y'all repeat after us. We can't hear you, but repeat after us, okay? So we're asking the ancestors to rise up. Grand evening, tribes. Rise up. We're asking the ancestors now. I want y'all to say the ancestors is your blood, because I'm gonna say my blood, okay? So ancestors of my blood, my spirit, and my destiny. And in Yoruba, because some of y'all are Yoruba, it's the Egungun, okay? Now, in the tribe that I come from, my 3 different tribes, it's called Nkem, right? That's how we call our ancestors in that tribe. And Naaba is how we call the ancestors in the Zagomba. And then we say Nos Arpatsulus, right? In Cape Verde, Africa. So there's 3 tribes I belong to. So I'm calling on the ancestors of all of my tribes. I'm asking that you open the way, that you clear the path, and that you let wisdom speak through me today and guide everybody that's listening, and let them be guided by the spirit of their ancestors as well. Ashe.
Oh, yes, sir. So, just to get this thing cracking, man, this is something that a lot of people heard of, a lot of people know, but I figure who better than you to ask the significance of this. So shout out to Tupac, Ibatu knew. Pac had a song called Pour Out a Little Liquor, you know what I'm saying? Like, for his homies, homies that passed away, right? So when we talk about that, when we're dealing with hold on, let me pull this rapper off because I ain't promoting nobody, ain't paying me. But when we talk about the ancestors, right? Marketing Strategic 101, we pour out libations when we start everything. We pour out libations. We give the ancestors libations. So, it's funny. I don't know if I ever asked this question or we really went into it, but what is the significance of the pouring out of libations before we began, ceremonies, prayers, rituals, etc., etc. What's the significance of us pouring out libations to the ancestors?
It's your offering. It's giving them an offering. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, when we pay homage to our ancestors, well, in certain traditions, we use all of the elements, and water is one of them,
Yeah.
right? But the ones who don't know, they pour out liquor. It's basically, here we're giving you an offering and
Mm-hmm.
paying homage to you, my ancestor.
Right.
So it's basically an offering to the ancestors.
Got you. Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
And I know water is considered to be probably the most powerful force,
Oh,
on the
yes.
planet, right? So
Yes.
there's a very strong connection with water and how water is used with, communication, because it's a portal, it's a vortex, there's a lot of different things that that water is capable of doing. So much so that I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen the research that I can't think of the Japanese doctor that did the research with the water, where he showed when we communicate the water, whether we
I
have
know you're
positive
talking
and
about.
negative. Yeah, I can't. Some
Right.
Komodo for no the tribe, but
Yeah.
somebody I know the tribe,
I know that.
share. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but he did that research where he showed how we communicate to the water. The water will respond back with, what I'm saying, the way that you can look at it under a microscope, the way it kind of gives its own imprint or fingerprint or signature, whatever you want to call it. So that's powerful to me. That's very powerful.
It should be powerful. You know why? How much your brain is made up of 95% water. Your
Mm,
blood is 75%, excuse me, your blood is 83%, and your body's 75% water.
mm,
Now, what's interesting, if you know, this planet is what, 75% water, the
yep,
most powerful element on the earth, right?
yeah.
So it's saying that we are truly connected through the DNA, through the water. So it's not hard to communicate with the water, make the water move for you. I go in the shower, and if I don't greet the water, as I tell my students, if I don't greet the water starts getting hot. Soon as I greet it, it'll cool down. I'm not playing. This is real, y'all.
Oh, I
This
believe
is
it.
when you are connected to the very thing that's a part of you. So a lot of people need to respect that water, because it ain't no joke. And as y'all could see, when tsunamis come, what does it do? It
Hmm.
takes I don't care what infrastructure you build, what is it doing?
Knocking
So
everything over.
that's right. So,
Hmm.
we have to understand, family, that water is a very, very powerful element, and actually the most powerful element on the planet. And we are connected to it because our bodies are made up. I call us water beings,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you go to Venus, they're called, they're made of volcanic. So those are volcanic beings in Venus, because they're made up of the same elements as their planet.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's deep. That's deep. So, are you familiar with the deity Aganju, the Orisha Aganju?
Ganju, yes, I am.
Yeah, he's connected to the volcanoes too. So that's
So
powerful.
Ganju's from Venus.
Wow, I never
Right.
knew that.
I
Wow.
mean, one of the things we lack, family, is we lack using our logical senses sometimes,
Right,
because
right.
we get so caught up in books and what they say in books. We lack using our logical senses and connecting with the very things that you're a part of.
Hmm.
Now, if you think about it logically, if this planet Earth is 75% water, and your body's made up of most of the things on this earth, like I say, when you walk outside, you walk into yourself. So if you are made up of 75% water, your brain, wouldn't it make sense to say, well, the water beings,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Peop-
and we can go even deeper than that when you talk about the origin story from the Dogon tribe.
right.
The Nomos who come,
The
who came from
Nobels,
Sirius,
right.
were also considered to be water beings. Oannes, I believe, was the name of one of the deities. And there's a few more.
Ama, and
Amma, yeah, Amma, Oannes, yeah, they went into that. As a matter of fact, there's a
yeah.
book called The Serious Mystery. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's a powerful book, but it breaks that down really deep in regards to the beings that came from the star system of Sirius, from the constellation of Canis Major to the planet Earth, and how they were water beings. And then you come from a tribe in Cape Verde that also is tied to
To
water
water
beings
being,
as
right.
well, right?
Correct.
So that's
Yes, I
powerful.
do. Yes,
Ashe.
very powerful.
Mm,
Even the fact that I was connected to the Bamaleke tribe, 99.4%. My
mm,
DNA is one of the oldest in the world. And
mm,
being connected to the Bamaleke tribe, they also say that their ancestors come from the water,
hmm. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yes, very powerful. But with the Dogon is very, very interesting because a lot of people don't know. They say they come from the star Sirius system, but they came through. They came through the water.
Right.
So when you hear the story of the Dogons and you hear the story of how Amma was the egg and then Nomos was the actual fish god, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Where they come from, water,
It's deep.
right?
It's
Right,
real deep. And the egg also is a very powerful element in a lot of creations, almost all the creation stories. That egg
right.
is ever present. Now check this out. So when we talk about biology, you being the womb man, the Wunam, you know, and then the egg, your egg has to get fertilized by what? The semen that comes from a man. So creation itself in the humanoid form, it is
Right,
all created in fluid, which, you know what I'm saying, when we
right,
get to where we are now. So yeah,
right.
that's deep.
But you have to look at like the actual seaman looks like a tadpole. You ever see the tadpoles that float in the
Yeah,
water? You
yeah,
know, and it just basically tells you that, the actual internal of us is created through water,
yes, fluid.
right?
Yeah.
Right, through fluid, right?
Yeah.
So it's saying that, yeah, but when that semen hits the egg, then what you have this explosion
Yep.
that takes place, right?
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Just like the Big Bang theory, the you know, and then we could even go to Kemet, you know, like when you talk about
Ancient
the,
chemical.
you know, yeah, same thing. So it's definitely a lot of divine alignment between water and who and what we are, you know. And
Right.
so
But when we go to Kemet, we talk about Newt, right?
Newt,
Newt,
Geb,
right? Yep,
you know,
Gab, right?
you got some
So,
Nun.
right. So,
Yeah.
but what I want to bring up is that people don't know when you talk about that semen, where do you think the semen is at? Because back in ancient times, the semen was in a woman's spine,
Mm.
and that's how she was able to produce babies on her own.
Ambidextrously. I mean, not ambidextrous, but
No, 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 no.
what do you call it?
Parthenogenesis.
Yeah.
Parthenogenesis.
God
It's
damn
called
it.
parthenogenesis, where you can impregnate just like a whale can have its own baby, a worm.
Yeah.
It's called parthenogenesis. So what happens is, back in ancient times, the sperm would come back, and that's how women were able to come down her spine and was able to impregnate themselves. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, how you know?" I've heard it, I read it, but I do know because I went to spirit about it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and even to this day, we have so many species on this planet, and it's still being done by other species.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, "Well, they weren't human." First of all, was you there in ancient times? We actually use more strands of our DNA, so we were more lighter beings. So, with saying that, we had the possibility to do the unthinkable. We were really, you think we, got superhero powers now? Back then, it was crazy. Okay, and I'm telling you, based off of spirit, right? Of course, you'll hear some of this in books, but this is based off of spirit. A lot of y'all don't take the time to spend time in spirit to find out what you need to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I tell you what, spirit is ever present, and it goes back to how we started. And it's funny because I think I shared that with you, but I had a little downtime yesterday. I had to do my duties as fatherly duties, and I
Hmm.
remember I was like, I'm not gonna drive all the way back to my side of town when I had to come back in a couple hours. So I was like, it's a dope
Hmm.
park that
Hmm.
yeah, beautiful park actually that I went. And it's a riverfront park where they have
Hmm.
they built it up to where it's like trails where people walk and kind of jog or whatever down the sidewalk, but then there's like stores and restaurants and things of that nature that's kind of like right off the water. So they got
Hmm.
benches. I was just sitting there chilling. I'm like, I'm gonna spend some time in nature, which I need to do more of anyway. And I'm
Hmm.
checking out the water. Beautiful tree was right in front of me, and then I remember like talking. I was reading a book actually, The Architects of Humanity, the IJ book that we talked about
Hmm.
on Saturdays.
Hmm.
Called, I think her name is Teresa Washington, the sister that
I
wrote
know,
that.
I know. If I have a couple of her books.
Yeah, powerful book, man.
Hmm.
And I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? Let me see if I can make some contact with the ancestors. So I'm saying in my mind telepathically, ancestors, if you're here with me, there's one particular one I was communicating with. Can you give me a sign? So I'm sitting there reading my book. I'm looking at the water. I was hoping to see a dolphin or something, but I didn't. But it was a squirrel that ran up on me. And the
Hmm.
joker ran within about a 10 to 12 foot space away from me. And I could tell like it came. And if it wasn't as much traffic, it looked like they was going to walk right up to me. But there was so many
Hmm.
people walking by, but it came and made eye contact. And it was
Hmm.
amazing because it sat there for a minute. like just looking at me, and like we looking at each other, and people walking by seeing this, and then it stood up on his hind legs, and it had his hands in it, really like turned his head like, "What's up?" Like, yo, this is crazy.
Wow.
And so it was dope,
Wow.
man, because they showed me, and then it kind of came a little closer, then it kind of went off another way. But I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. That's the sign.
That's
Like,
the sign. Right.
that's what I
Right.
was asking for. You know what I mean? So it was
Right.
powerful, man. Very powerful. Very
Okay.
powerful.
Well, let's see, that's the significance of us, you know, having a connection with our ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of the reasons I created that children's book, because a lot of Africans in America, right, was not blessed to be able to communicate or learn about their ancestors. They were taught in
Right.
Christianity that, once they're dead, they're dead. You have every other
Right.
culture in this world, like the Indians, you have the
Mm-hmm.
Chinese, you have the Japanese. Everybody pays homage to their ancestors, even
Mm-hmm.
in Africa. Even though, we know Africa was colonized with Islam and, Christianity, but they may do all that. But I guarantee you, you go to Africa right now, you could go to Lagos, okay, where they used to have, I don't know if they still got it, but they used to have this giant Jesus, white Jesus. They still had their ancestor shrines. They may have called on Jesus and God, but they still paid homage to their ancestors. And a lot of
Right.
people don't know that. But here in America, Africans in America were not blessed to be able to experience that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And it's
Oh yeah.
time that they do. Because
Right.
if they really was down with the get down in their Bibles, they would see that Jesus had ancestors, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So at the
Yep.
end of the day, it's very important. It's time now. Because our
Yeah.
ancestors been here.
Oh
They've
yeah.
been here. They've been standing around them. When I do readings, I say, well, I see this woman standing behind you.
Mm.
Right? This woman,
Mm.
who is this? This woman got right here. She's very nice to go. And I said, oh, well, that was my grandmother. Okay, well, she's trying to talk to you. Why are you not
Mm.
talking to your ancestors? Right?
Right.
So it's
Right.
just time. And
Yeah.
it's really a blessing that you did the show, because there's still a lot of people learning. A lot of
Yeah.
it's
Um,
important now.
yeah. Yeah. And and that's where
Mhm.
I take pride in just being led by spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like spirit communicates to me, and I feel like the communication signal is getting a lot stronger. So with it getting stronger, it's easier for me to be led. So that call that we did Saturday was initially supposed to be a call on divination, but because there was a lot of things that took place, that I was
Mhm.
just like, you know what, we need to switch it up and do more about healing and the mothers and the ancestors. So
Right.
throughout the week, more synchronicities, more signs of alignment, and just their presence showed up. So I was like, you know what, I think this would be a good topic. So when we spoke, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about this show, I was
Hmm.
asking you, how can we bring about different ways, or how can you teach the tribe how we can actually use tangible steps to be able to communicate with our ancestors, and then also
Hmm.
to get confirmation that we have been communicated with, or that they can show us the sign that, what I
Hmm.
mean, like they're participating in this ebb and flow of energy
Hmm.
exchange between us and them.
Well, as I told you before, sometime I get people say, well, how do you talk to your ancestors, or how you hear them, or how do you see them?
Hmm.
Everybody does not have the actual gift to hear or see, and some people do. The
Right.
ones who do, um, I tell them the same thing you said. You asked for a sign, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you was at the park, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I will tell people, that I told people over the years, you're not ready to like experience that, because so many people have been brainwashed and programmed to think when little things in a house fall, that is ghosts, and
Right.
not understanding sometimes it could be your ancestors. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this, and I'm gonna share this story with you all for a minute. I had a client years ago, and it was a young. He wasn't that young. He was like in the 30s, and he lived with his grandfather. And his
Uh-huh.
grandfather was
Uh-oh.
scared every time I wake up in the morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it had froze
Can you
for
hear
a
me?
minute, but yep, I hear you now. It
Oh,
froze
okay.
for a minute, but you said
Okay.
you had a client, and then he lived with his grandfather, and then it kind of froze a little
Right.
bit.
He lived with his grandfather. So his grandfather transitioned,
Hmm.
and I remember he called me. He said, I need a reading because something's going on in my house. So he's thinking it's paranormal activity, right? So I said, well, what's going on? He said, it is somebody dropping something in the kitchen. And he says, and every time I get up, this fork is on the floor, right? he goes, and I'm kind of nervous because, you know, I'm not used to dealing with this type of energy. So I did the ancestral reading for him. So I said, well, who's the old man? He's caramel complexion. I said, he got a cane. And I said, he shakes like this. I said, and I see him and he drops the fork on the floor. He said, oh my goodness, that's my granddaddy. You know, he died and he did shake like this. So I said, that's the one who's trying to get your attention. I said, pay attention because that's your granddaddy. So he still see that. He said, tell me what this woman looks like in my head. He had a picture. Now I didn't see the picture because at that time FaceTime wasn't popular. So I
Right,
didn't
right.
see the picture. So I said,
Mhm.
okay. I said, this is your grandmother. I said, she got cat glasses on. She's light skinned. And that boy dropped the picture on the floor. Right. He said, how in the hell did you see that? I said, that's a gift. I said, but what you got to understand, I says, our ancestors have many ways of trying to contact with you. You contact us. I said, your granddaddy was giving you a sign. You know, he used to drop the fork on the floor. He
Yeah,
said he sure did.
yeah,
I said, but it didn't come to your, you know, senses that maybe that's my grandfather.
yeah,
He said, I
yeah.
didn't even think about that, you know. So with saying that, a lot of times our ancestors do try to alert you,
Mm-hmm.
but becomes sometimes, you know, we you know, get nervous or we think it's something else and it's
Yeah,
not an ancestor.
yeah,
And you know, I've heard stories, you know, people, and you hear them talking about it. Well, I smelt the smell
yeah,
and my grandmother used to wear that perfume. Yeah, that's your
yeah,
ancestor. Talk to her.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they are aware of it, but they're not aware. But one of the ways you can actually communicate with your ancestors is for those who may not be ready for that type of activity, because some of you all are not.
Right.
Y'all be scared to death, be
Yeah.
running out the goddamn house, right? So, so you know, one of the things you can do is you can actually, you know, write a letter to them
Mm,
before you go to bed.
mm.
One of the things we do is like if we want to communicate, like if I want a question from my mother or something, I can go to my ancestor shrine because I have many. I
Right.
even have a gungun. So you know, I have a gungun too.
Oh yeah.
So I'll go in the Cape Verdean where we do it with water. You do it by the water, or you put sea salt water by the bed, and you
Mm-hmm.
pray over the water before you go to sleep. You call on that ancestor, and you ask that ancestor to come to your dreams. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Now in Yoruba, I know they do libations too. They also give offerings. They give offerings of gin. You know, you can give coconut. You know, you can give, you know, what else? Some palm oil. So you can give it to them and you can ask them to come communicate with you. Okay. That's the one way. I mean, if y'all want to write this down, y'all can. Okay.
Shit.
Now, in Cabo Verde, again, we call them los antepasados. And most of the time, you go by the sea if you're by the sea. Because, you know, Cape Verde is not but water. So we go by the sea. But again, you could use sea salt, water, put it by the bed, pray over the water, tell them to come to you, communicate that way. Okay.
Mm, mm,
Now, I'm going to tell you like this there's an interesting way that we do in a Bamaleke.
mm,
And Bamaleke, the ancestors are worshipped and paid homage to in a totally different way.
mm,
When the ancestors transition, the skull of the ancestors taken, and there's a house that's created for all of the ancestors that died within that village.
mm,
And that those skulls are put in a house, and you go in there and you communicate with your ancestors, okay? And they call them Nkem, Nkem, okay?
How you spell that, Wunam?
And yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. How do you spell that?
Nkem,
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it means the breath continues. So what is done is the drums are played to wake them up. So in that house where all the skulls are, with all the ancestors, the drums are played to wake up the ancestors. Okay?
That's
And also too in Bamaleke, they refer to them as the living dead.
mm,
Okay?
mm. That's powerful. So let me ask you this, because I know there's multiple ways that when you say salt water, right? I had a ceremony that I did probably about a month ago for a client that came down, and we went to give offerings to Imoja at the ocean. And so every time I go to the ocean, it's always my spirit to collect either shells or water or, you know, something, sand, whatever, something like elements to bring home with me. So anywho, I collected some water from the ocean that time, and I kept it in this jar. Would I use like actual like water from the ocean, or do I just use regular water and put sea salt in it, or can you use both, or how would you recommend us doing
You
that?
can use both.
Okay.
Both.
That's
Now,
what's up.
if I was by the ocean, I would be at the ocean all the time. You know, that's just my thing, you know.
Yeah.
But because I'm not by the ocean, you know, we live 4 hours away from the ocean, I have to use sea salt water. But what I usually do is, and I do have seawater, I bring a lot of seawater back with me because I give it to Homage, I give it to all of my uh Cabo Verde you know, beans, okay,
Right.
including Ajay. So we have many water beans that we deal with cover. So I have to keep seawater so I can give them. So I can use that seawater to do it if I want to.
That's what's up, man. I might use
Right.
some of this tonight then, because like I said, last time I went, matter of fact, I got some water from Ghana. When I went to Ghana last year, I brought back some water with me. I brought some sand, and then I brought water too. Because shout out to Baba Tolu, but he had told me, he was like, man, bring back the sand,
Yeah.
because you can put, you know, the water when you get back home, because you know water's heavy, so I didn't want my bags to be overweight for all the
Right.
other stuff I had got, whatever. But he was like, you could just bring the sand and then put that in like a water bottle, whatever. Then when you get back home, put water in there, and that's going to activate the elements of that same, you know what I'm saying, water that
Right.
was in that ocean. Like, oh shit, I didn't think about that, because think about
Well, yeah,
every
because we
ocean
bring
has sand
sand
on the
back
bottom.
too. Yeah, we
There you
bring
go.
sand back too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So now, if I did that tonight, would I be able to, like, is it a specific type of glass that we should put put our water in, or like does it matter? Like, does it have to be like clear? Does it have to be,
No,
you know what I mean?
I prefer you want to put glass. You want to get glass bowls, right?
Gotcha.
Make sure
Okay.
it's glass bowls. Yeah.
Okay. And then you put that on the
Okay.
side of your bed.
Put it on the side of your bed, or if you don't have like a nightstand, put it under your bed, right under where you sleep at.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then and they say for those who don't live by the water and they don't want to just get the water, you know, like from a water bottle, the tap water, whatever. How much of the sea salt should we add to the water?
You make it as salty as you can because you want it to be like the sea.
I say.
Like the sea. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
you make it as salty as you can. Put the sea salt. Maybe I would say, if depending on what bowl. Now, if you're going to use a smaller bowl, you could put maybe 2 tablespoons of sea salt. And if it's going to be bigger, put maybe 4 tablespoons of sea salt on there. Okay.
gotcha.
And remember, you want to pray over it.
Right.
You want to pray over it.
Now,
Okay.
when we're doing the prayers, are we praying to our ancestors? Are we praying to Imoja, like to water
No,
days?
you're praying your ancestors because remember you're calling on your ancestor. So
Gotcha.
when you're praying, you know through through the spirit of the water, right? And you can say it in English, or you know if you whatever language you speak, you can say it in
Right.
that language. And through the
Mm,
spirit of water, I ask that you rise up and I ask that you communicate to my ancestors. Ancestors, I ask that you come to my dreams.
mm,
Ancestors, I ask that you give me a message. Ancestors, I ask that you guide my path and be strong with it, y'all. You know, some people be you know, they'll have the bowl of water or they'll be praying. No, you want to make sure that the vibrations that's coming from your body is connecting with that water because remember the water moves, right?
yes.
You speak into it, it changes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that your vibrations and your energy is connecting with that water so you can get that clear clear, you know, a message over to the ancestors to allow them to communicate with you in your dreams.
Mm,
They'll give you signs at home, and don't get scared. But some of y'all
yeah.
may, but don't get scared,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a real
right,
thing. That's a real thing. That's so funny. I remember
right,
how long ago was it? I can't remember how long ago, but it was a while ago.
hmm
It was so funny because I was like at the house and everybody else was gone. And I remember I had fell asleep on the couch
hmm
in the living room, right? So there's, you know, we got like stands and pictures and things all over the, you know, whatever, all over the place in the living room, dining room, etc. But about 3, 4, it was late, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever. I hear this boom, and it wasn't like a loud boom. It was like more like something fell, like you were saying about the brother earlier. And so I'm just like, yo, I kind of like picked my head up off the pillow and looked around, like, yeah, one of the ancestors. I went right back to sleep because I just knew.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I was saying, I was sleeping in the middle of the night, fell asleep on the couch, and then I remember like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I heard like a something fall. Like, could I? Like, what the and I picked my head up off the pillow and I look, I'm like, this is probably one of the answers. I went back to sleep. But what was crazy about it, there's pictures on the bottom row of this stand, and they're pictures that have a, you know, a secure what is it, a picture frame. So you know how the picture frames that they got on the back, and they got like that arm or that leg or whatever that you kind of, you know, you use it to like a kickstand on the bike, right, to keep it standing up. So it was a family picture of a family member that got knocked over in the middle of the night. Now ain't no wind, my dog sleep too, ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, it was so funny because it didn't startle me because I knew right then and there, like, man, one of the answers is here. I just went back to sleep. but that's a real thing. Like, it really happens.
Yeah,
like, it really happens. Yeah. Yes,
but
sir.
I mean, a lot of times people, you know, because they're so scary, and not, you know, something they don't understand that, you know, it could be an ancestor. They're letting you know. You know, but that comes from lack of knowledge, you know, and not growing up understanding about your ancestors. This is why I created this book, because we need to start teaching the children so they'll understand, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you know, we don't even recognize it here in America, but you know, a lot of times even you hear them say, oh, the babies are talking to their angels. No, those are their ancestors. When you see the babies laughing and playing, these are ancestors, you know what I mean? And a lot of times we're aware, but we think it's some other spirit. We don't ever think it's an ancestor. We think it's a demon or angel, or, you know, not your ancestor. And that's why we need to start teaching them now so they understand.
Yeah, that's a real thing. And I'm gonna pull the book up too, because I remember, and it's funny to me because let me rewind and just be like 100% transparent. Probably about, let me see, this was probably 2017, I want to say 2017. So we're looking at about 8.5, 9 years ago. I remember texting one of my cousins, and we were just chopping it up on the phone or whatever. And then I got a download that came, and it was the weirdest damn thing ever. Like, I got a download, and it was like, ask him about that time I beat him in a race. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it really blew my mind. Like, because it was just random. Like, what? Like, it was like a download, like a telepathic text. And I just kept coming, like, asking about the time I beat him in the race. So after like 3, 4 times, like, man, I don't know what and mind you, this is before I know anything about E5, you know, any of this stuff.
Right.
And I just recall, like, my spirit said, just go ahead and ask. So we texted. So I text him, and mind you, we going back and forth. The texts are going right back and forth. So when I sent, I like, cuz, I said, did you ever have a homeboy, a friend of yours that beat you in a race? And then he went silent for like 5, it was minutes, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, however long. And then he came back. He was like, yo, he was like, man, he was like, cuz, he was like, I don't know what you all, he was like, but man, me and my homeboy, they was having their little plant medicine. He was like, it just blew their mind. He said, because one of his friends had just transitioned, like, I guess recently, like within the, like, you know, I don't know, maybe a week or two or whatever. And he was like, he did beat him in the race. He was like, that's the only time he ever beat him in the race. And he even told me the car was black. So I forgot that part. He was like, ask him about the time I beat him in the race in the black car. So when I did it, like I said, they paused for a minute. Then he responded back. He was like, yo, cuz, he was like, that's crazy. He was like, yeah, my homeboy said he passed away. He was like, but he had a black Benz. He was like, he beat me. That's the only time he ever beat me in a race in the car. He's like, when in his black Benz, I was like, bro. I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, cuz, I was like, your homeboy straight. I said, right now he laughing, talking shit because he beat you in that race from the other. He told me to tell you that from the other side. And I said, and that's all I got because I'm about to go to sleep because it blew me. I was like, what? Like, it blew my mind. I was like, man, I don't know what the hell going on. I wasn't on no type of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
Libations,
but
none of that.
you know, you ain't gotta be on that. You naturally who you are.
But I
You
didn't know anything
spiritual. You
about that.
know it.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
It was.
so they was using you because they seen it. This is also what's significant about the ancestors. They knew who you was before you even know.
You right about that?
They
Because I
they
ain't gonna
they
lie, that
they
shook
knew
me a
you could
little
do
bit.
that.
That shook me
Right?
a little bit
Shook
though. I
you.
came front because I'm like, what the what? Like it was crazy. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
thing, man.
See,
It's a real thing.
we don't
And
even. Let me tell you something. When you understand the in depth energy of the ancestors, you gonna love your ancestors.
oh yeah,
And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. You know how they call on Jesus? Everybody calling
oh
God and Jesus. No, I'm calling
yeah,
on my ancestors.
yes sir,
You hear what I'm saying? My
yes sir,
ancestors come through for me just
yeah,
like your God might come through for you. But
oh
the
yeah.
difference is my ancestors was here at one time and I seen their faces. I ain't being funny, but it is what it is.
And you got receipts. You got
Right?
receipts. Look, you're looking at the receipt in the mirror. Every time you look in the mirror, you're looking at the receipts of the ancestors. For real. Yeah,
I
it's a
am
real thing.
my ancestors me. And what's crazy is, this is really time for us to stop playing. Stop
Yeah,
playing. Come on now. Because
yeah.
they've been walking with us and standing with us a very long time.
Oh
And
yeah.
you remember Marcus Garvey said, "I'll see you in the whirlwind." And he said, "I'm coming with he didn't tell you he was bringing 1,000 ancestors with him."
Listen.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a real thing.
So right now, especially Africans in America, a lot of people are waking up. They're coming back to the traditions at an alarming rate,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And they're dealing with most everybody and their mother's dealing with Ifa. It is what
Hmm.
it is. But I
Right.
don't care what you're dealing with. You're dealing with your original
Yeah.
traditions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
first and foremost, though, what you must know, I don't care what you deal with, whether it's a Khan, Yoruba, Ifa, shamanism,
Comedic culture.
anything you did, comedic, anything. They always paid homage to the ancestors first. Before
Facts.
you call on that Orisa, you call on your ancestors first
Facts.
because they are the ones who were here before you. And
Yes.
they're the ones that download your DNA with the information that you need,
First line of
right?
defense. Yes, sir.
That's right. So
Yeah.
even when you're dealing with spiritual warfare, you
Yeah.
call upon your ancestors.
Oh
I
yeah.
did a divination yesterday, and it was for a woman, and I told her, I said, you got a woman ancestor that stands with you very strong and she protects you. And
Yeah.
this woman is the one who fights your battles. So
Hmm.
whoever's causing spiritual warfare, they got to be careful because she's blocking them like this, like
Oh
this, like
yeah.
this,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, they ancestors, y'all sleep on them if you want to, but let me
Yeah.
tell you something. I love my ancestors.
Oh yeah, you and me both. Listen, so it's funny because now fast forward to present time. I had a client I did a divination for Saturday, and it was right before we got on our call, and then I sent in a message, whatever, and it was like I think there might have been a little bit of I won't even say like loss in translation. I just feel like they felt some type of way about the message because it was kind of surprising. I'll just put it that way. But I'm like, nah, that's trust me, you're not in it ain't no issue. It's like they are seeing things we can't see. They know things we don't know. They are seeing everything from a whole nother perspective. It's like we see the world
Mm-hmm.
in 2020, they see the world in 360 or 720. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's a
Mm-hmm.
totally different, dynamic of the dimensions that they're able to see. So they're just preparing us because they are leading us with the instructions or the step-by-step guidance and directions for us to be the best versions of us that we can be.
That they
So
can
what
be, right.
happens is I had to like reassure them, like, yo, trust me, just trust them. They know what they're telling you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing,
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, I'll never
Mm-hmm.
forget, like, after I just had sent the email with like some more
Mm-hmm.
information. I remember I had went to
Mm-hmm.
run some errands and came back home, and a beautiful black cat walked right across my doggone front yard. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So that I knew for a fact that was confirmation to the ancestors. So I reached out to them, and it was like they had a similar experience with nature as well. And I'm like, yo, I said, now that's crystal clear confirmation. There's no way both of us have the same exact, similar experience with nature, in
Mm-hmm.
two different states now. And then,
Mm-hmm.
saying, without that being a coincidence, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So like they want to make sure that you had confirmation that they gave you the message that you were supposed to see, and they wanted to give me confirmation that I gave you the message that you were supposed to see. I said, so it was just dope because like the timing of it was impeccable. I'm like, boy, look at the answers showing out again, but it was showing out. It was dope. It was real dope, man.
Yeah, but y'all, they better recognize because they love to show out, y'all.
Oh
Our
yeah,
ancestors are special, very
man.
special.
Well,
Right.
since we're on a special note talking about these special answers, let me go ahead and bring up this special book real quick so we could talk about that as since we're talking about special.
Okay.
So Ancestral Love, Nia, and the Talking Candle. What's going on with this, Wunam? That looks dope, man. What is this about?
Well, that book is basically teaching the small children how to set up the ancestral altars.
Mm,
So, a lot of times, some of the kids are close to their grandparents, you know
mhm.
what I mean? And if they transition, they might miss them. They don't know how to communicate with them. They wasn't taught.
Right, right.
They're just told that they're in heaven, right? And that's what they're taught. But with this book right here, I created it because actually this summer, I actually had all my initiates bring their children to Georgia. And I actually did ancestor calling with the children and taught them how to call on the ancestors through, the rituals that we were doing. So this book is basically teaching the little children that they still can communicate with their ancestors. And of course, I use this talking candle, the fire, because a lot of times you can communicate with your ancestors through fire as well, family. Um, and I used the talking candle to do that, to teach Nia how to call on her grandmother. So that's why I created that book, so we can start, sharing it with the children. It's time for them to know. They didn't know before, but they're gonna know now.
I know that's right. I
Hmm.
say. I say, and that's funny because I had just created an ebook, maybe like a week or two ago about the Egungun and how to tie shadow work into working with the ancestors and with the Egungun. So
Right.
it's definitely divine alignment for sure. And like I said, they've been showing up and been ever present. Matter of fact, I got a guide that I got to share in the Patreon community as well with kind of like a step by step way
Hmm.
to really write and kind of like journal and log how the communications take place. So kind of like some of the stories we're sharing, I
Hmm.
created it to give everybody like a step by step, guide on
Hmm.
how to chart and to document and to different ways that you can kind of keep a written journal or dialogue, in between you and your ancestors and the things that
Hmm. Hmm.
transpire in between, between you and the ancestors. So it's definitely a lot of divine alignment I see with this.
Yeah, but one of the things we didn't talk about earlier
Mm-hmm.
was how to really communicate with them.
Mm. So
And one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing this on a daily basis. Now, for those of you who deal with IFA,
mhm.
when they do the World Do talked about the importance of making sure that you talk to your ancestors. They said a
Mm.
lot of people who did not start honoring and paying homage to their ancestors was going to die this year. It was in the World Do. If you guys know about the World Do, every year in IFA, they do the World Do and tell you what's going on with everybody in the world. And that
Yeah,
was one of
June.
the things that came up was being important of making sure you pay homage to the Egungun, right?
Hmm.
And giving their offerings. Now,
Yeah,
not only do we want to communicate with our ancestors, if you guys take the time to go Google every other culture, they have whole tables set up for their ancestors. You
yeah,
go to Chinese,
yeah,
Japan, the Indians, they got the huge tables, real beautiful food and everything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, with saying that, in Africa, a lot of times we do the villages outside. But
Hmm.
being that we're here, I teach my initiates to do theirs in the house, and they can have one outside too. But if you live in this warm state, but you want to make sure that you make your ancestor altar pretty. We want to put the 5 elements because not only are we communicating with them, we also are going there making a home for the ancestors, okay? So you want to make a home for your ancestors, 5 elements: air, earth, water, and fire. Candles to fire. The air is going to be your breath because when you go to your ancestral altar, you want to always spit your gin, your water, whatever you want to spit to them, you spit it to them. Okay? You're going to have rocks on there because that represents the earth. So you're going to have four small rocks and one big rock. Okay? And you want to get them from outside. Right? And then you're going to have a cup of water there for your ancestors, and you want to make sure you change it. Now, you want to keep a bowl for your ancestors. You want to have a maternal side and a paternal side. So I have both. On the maternal side is over here, the paternal side is over here. Okay? They get their water there, they get their water over here. Now, one of the things I can do, and I do a lot because I do ancestral readings for everybody and their mother, is tell you what they want. So I know my mother, and I'll tell you that story real quick. One time, my mother used to love her some lamb chops. I ain't like lamb chops. She used to love her, make some lamb chops. And one day I was craving lamb chops. I'm in the grocery store. I want some lamb chops, right? I don't know. So then Spirit said, your mother wants some lamb chops. I said, come on, man. Come on, man, Mom. Come on now. You want some lamb chops? It ain't for you. It's for me. Okay. All right. So I got her some lamb chops. She told me what she wanted. Now, there's a certain African dish my grandmother likes, so she'll let me know that she wants it, so I'll put it there. So, because we want to feed our ancestors too, y'all. We want to feed them. You just don't want to feed water all the time, but they eat too. And if they don't take the food, they will take the essence of the food. You will see it dried out, sucked out, dried out, I had that question years ago, and I remember my mother's birthday. Because, usually on their birthday, also, you want to celebrate their birthday. So I put a little cupcake there, for her. So I came back and there was crumbs left. She let me know that she took it. You know what I mean? So you want to do stuff like that. You want to take care and honor, not just pay homage to them, take care of your ancestors, feed them, put food there for them. Now, what you should do is only leave it for 3 days. Don't leave it longer because y'all, the little bugs start coming around. So leave it for 3 days and then take it off and throw it away and basically throw it by the base of a tree. Okay? So you want to feed, talk to, and when you do set up your ancestral altar, the fire is going to work through a candle. So get a white candle. And when you're communicating with your ancestors through that candle, you want to be sitting at your altar. So you're going to light your candle. And you say, I'm calling on the ancestors through the spirit of the candle, through the spirit of the fire, and then through the spirit of the water. Because you can do the sea salt water there too. Okay? Now, you want to spend a good 15 minutes to 20 minutes talking to your ancestors. And I want y'all to talk to them just like you're talking to me right now, or like I'm talking to y'all, I mean. So you want to talk to them, The other secret is very, very well, very well. I'm going to say this: every tribe in Africa calls on their ancestors through their mother. The maternal is very well respected. So the mitochondrial DNA. So when you call on your ancestors, you're going to call through your maternal. So if your mother's name is Kim, I'm calling on my ancestors and I'm calling through my mother, Kim. Now, the biggest question I got, well, my mother's still alive. It's okay. You're calling through her because she carries the mitochondrial DNA. So you're going to call through your mother every time. Even if you're calling on your paternal side, you're always going to call ancestors through the maternal side because the matriarch, the mitochondrial DNA is the most powerful DNA on the planet. So you're always going to call through your maternal side, okay? So when you reverence your ancestors, you always want to call. I'm calling on my mother. You can say it silently, or you can say it, you understand? Out loud.
Yeah, that's powerful. I was gonna run and grab my Opie cool, but I might do it later. But is it so like a bowl like this? Is this cool? Like a clear bowl like this right here?
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So
Perfect.
yeah, that's what we need, tribe. Somebody, let me see who this was. Somebody had a very dope question. I love that they asked this question. So shout out to at Pisces Pret. I love this, and whoever this is, I'm pretty sure they got some experience in the tradition, or definitely with working with spirit, because they know some things about some things that only people that work with spirit in a certain capacity would know. So the question from Pisces Pret is, could Wunam speak to the sea salt water helping to invoke the ancestors versus salt that repels negative spirits? Because I know for example, if I'm doing offerings, like if I'm doing offerings to SU or Ogun or whatever, to the warriors or whatever, sometimes SU, won't let you open up because it could be some energies around that's not, that's not supposed to be there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is like, hey, Baba SU, would you like some salt? For me to sprinkle around in order to, get rid of any negative spirits or whatever, to open up, for this offering or what have you. As soon as I asked, I don't know if he's ever said no. And sure enough, yes, the salt, you know what I'm saying, is required in order to open up with this offering. So can you kind of break down the difference between how we can use the salt in the water to invoke and to attract or make contact with the ancestors versus the use of salt in order to prevent any unwanted negative or dark energies or entities to be in our environment?
that's why you're using sea salt water, right?
Mm.
Now, usually when you want to get rid of the negative, entities or whatever, you're using
Mhm.
regular salt, right?
Right.
But people don't even know that's not even that powerful. That's something that's old. That don't even come from Africa. You know
Mm.
that. That don't come from Africa, right? Now,
Mhm.
sea salt, which comes from the sea, and the sea water being the most powerful element on this planet, is used to communicate with the ancestors. Now, let me see, because it says she invoked ancestors versus salt repelling spirits. Now, honestly speaking, they say that salt repels spirits, but you're talking about what type of spirits, because the ancestral spirits carry a different type of energy.
I think they're talking
You
about negative spirits.
right. So, what are negative spirits to you? Are they demonic spirits? Are malevolent spirits? What kind of spirits? Because there's many type of spirits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Many type
Mhm.
of spirits. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all like this: when I do exorcisms, and I've done many of them, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about real exorcisms,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that salt wasn't working a goddamn nothing, right?
Listen. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna get out the way. Everybody in that movie is a movie. It was not that old either. I think it's called The Exorcist or something like that. But the dude,
Uh-huh.
I cannot remember the actor's name, but he picked up quite a bit of weight. White dude, phenomenal
Uh-huh.
actor. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he was an exorcist in the movie. He was a priest. He was an
Uh-huh.
exorcist. And so he went to a demon that was powerful as hell. He tried to splash some holy water. That demon laughed at him like, man, you don't get this bullshit out my face. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I'm telling y'all, salt and working. I had a young lady, and actually, I'm gonna even say a young lady. She is my niece's mother, and
Hmm.
my twin niece's mother, and
Hmm.
she had about to the side. She had about 5 different demonic forces in her body, and when I tell y'all, they was coming some back from ancient times.
Hmm.
I'm talking about some demonic force, and I had to figure it out because when I was using the frankincense and myrrh, some stuff that I had put together, that demon said, "It smells good." I said, "Oh, look this." I said, "No, that damn demon then, right?" So I said, "I got something for your ass." So I threw some salt. Now I'm just testing this shit out, right? So I threw
Right.
some salt on her head. That demon was like, "Oh, that feel good on top of my head." I said, "Well, I'll be damned." Right? So now,
Wait, real quick. Look, you remind me of Quick in Harlem Nights when he messed around and tried to punch Della Reese. He hit her. She's like, "Oh, that's all you got."
no, I'm not playing, y'all. So I'm looking what was crazy. And she said, no. I said, okay, I got something. So, now I'm listening to the demon laughing, thinking it's fucking funny. Mind y'all, I'm not scared. I'm getting mad. Now I'm getting mad. Because now you're doing too much. So that's not, I slapped the person, I start slapping her. Get out of her body. Get out of her body. You know what I mean? So my brother was like, you remember she's light skinned. Don't hit her too hard. I said, but that demon is talking through her. So, of course, y'all, when you're doing exorcisms, you try to do different things first. I try to do the basics. I said, all right, I got something for your ass. So now I take her outside because you should really do exorcism outside. So then, there's certain things like there's a bush. We get a tree bush, and then there's certain herbs that you mix together. Powerful herbs you mix together. So I had to wet the trees, the leaves on the trees, and I had to beat her with that water. What? Why you need it? Okay. So I'm sorry, y'all. I got interrupted. So I it's funny, y'all, because I actually had to end up doing medicines in her. There's medicines you put in the body. So I mean, you try to take steps first, but that was crazy. Demons they ain't care about no damn salt.
I found the movie. It's called The Pope's Exorcist. It came out. When did this come out? It came out in 2023. It was a good movie. Russell Crowe. It was called The Pope
I seen
Exorcist.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah, it
seen
came
that.
out 2023 with Russell Crowe. And so that part when he started trying.
Yeah, because look, people got to understand these spirits go through a transformation too.
Yeah, it's a real thing, man. It is real.
It's real.
Yeah.
They go through a transformation. And when they do, you gotta make sure you step up your game when you're dealing with that type of energy.
Yeah.
Like I said, sea salt wasn't working nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frankincense and myrrh was not working nothing. And years ago, it used to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to the lovely Chanel. It's funny because I was going to bring that up too. I think I've said it before on here, but she was saying, like, because the sisters that go get their nails done by them Asians and Chinese folks, they be seeing them damn ancestral shrines right there in the front of them shops.
In the
They be
front of
having
the door,
them right there. Even the restaurants, the Chinese restaurants, they be having ancestral shrines set up right there. I was going to bring that up too. So shout out to her.
Yeah, my really good friend, she owns a Chinese restaurant. Her name is Amy. Her American name is Amy, but as soon as you walk in her shop, she got a whole altar right there to her little Buddha.
Yeah, it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. That movie was funny though. That part in that movie, man. That as soon as you said that, my mind immediately flashed to that movie when he tried that. That demon looked at him like started laughing. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's the second time because I had a young girl. She had spina bifida. Her mother brought her to me. Her body, like she was her body, her spine was off.
And stuff.
Right.
Oh man.
And I remember her mother bought this sister because she had two children. I'm sorry, I feel bad for the woman, but she had two children that was autistic. I helped her with them. She brought her daughter to me because she was dealing with demons and she was hiding under the cabinet. So she brought the 11-year-old daughter to me. I had to get the spirit out of her. So I did her. She was fine. Now the one that had spina bifida, she was in a wheelchair. She was 19. And I remember I was I was helping the mother with her, and she walked by, she said something real slick out of her mouth. And I said, don't play with me, little girl. I said, you don't know what you're dealing with. That little girl got in that look, the wheelchair turned around and started rolling off. And she said, you don't know who I am. Just like that, but it was the demon. Right? I said, really? I called my daughters, I snatch her up out the goddamn wheelchair. I said, take her ass in that room, right? So with her, I had to because she was really dealing with this badge. It was really bad for her. I said, take her out of there. So I put her in the room and I had them hold her down. Now with this one, I had to do something different. I had to do more of a there's an African chant that you do. But along with that, I had to do the medicines as well. So I'm chanting. I had to demand the demon to get out of her body. And when I demanded the demon, I said, take her breath. So I had to almost take her breath for the demon to leave her body. And she couldn't breathe. She was like, I can't breathe. But I had to keep chanting. And while they were holding, I'm throwing this stuff on her. It's not even holy water. It's like herbs I had. And I'm throwing it on her. I said, remove yourself from her body. Remove yourself. And I said, take her breath. And when it took her breath, the demon fled because it was scared. It was, excuse me, it wasn't going to have a host anymore. So it's real, y'all. It's real. Hold on, y'all. I'm choking. Demon trying to make me
go ahead. I got him while you no, it's a real thing. It's a very real
but it's
thing.
real.
And this is another thing that the spirit just kind of gave to me to share. Just as we can have visitations, right? When we smell the fragrance of perfume or a scent of our ancestors, this and that. They're also, and I'm pretty sure you can speak further in depth to this, but when you have a funky, foul stench or odor that kind of arise out of somewhere, isn't that a lot of times often the sign or the presence of some sort of demon or some sort of negative, dark spirit? Okay. That's
and I'm gonna tell you the most common smell is sulfur. Most common smell, it smells like sulfur.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You can smell it very strongly. But and when you have that energy, you want to really clean out your house.
Yeah, that's facts. and then also, what is the because I was talking to somebody about, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, I could not remember the damn name of it. It pissed me off. But what is the ceremony that some initiates, not everybody, but some initiates have to have in order to, to me, it's almost like having like a, not really, almost maybe like a family reunion or a family gathering of the ancestors, and they bring in a seer or a seance who can like get, who can be possessed and invoke possession in order to give messages to the initiate to be and their family. What is that ceremony called?
I know. I think in it depends on what tribe you come from, because there's a couple of tribes that do that. I know the most popular one here in America. They call it a what do they call it?
Awan? Not
Like
Awan.
I can't think of the name of it.
I
It's
can't
on the
either,
tip of my
man.
tongue.
I can't either. But I was sharing with somebody about that
It's
because
called, I think, a revo. Let me see, something a revo or something like that.
I can't
Let me
remember it
see.
either. Dang, I can't remember the name of that
Yeah, I
dog
can't remember. Yeah, I think it's
ceremony.
something in reference to that. That's in Yoruba.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Yoruba. It's something. I just seen it too. I just seen it, and I
Yeah.
can't think of it.
But
But anyway, they do that, but we do that too. Sometimes, especially here. What do the Spanish people call it?
I can't
A
remember it,
s-
man.
Like
It's pissing me off.
I can't remember that. Anyway, so yeah, they call a person that is used, their body used
A
for the
host.
ancestors to come through, right, as a host, and
Seance.
they speak
That's called a
right.
seance. But there's I can't think of the name of the daggone ceremony.
No,
Somebody
no, 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 no. It's not a seance in the one we do. Like,
okay.
okay, I'll give you an example. One time we
But
were
they're a
asked,
seer though. The person is a seer and
right, the
they can
person's a seer,
and they get
but they can
possessed.
summons them.
Yes. And it's
Right, because I
intentional.
do that. I can do
Right.
that.
Right. So you get
Right, I
invoked.
can do
You
that.
invoke
Right. You
the
get
seer.
invoked. Right. You
Possession.
invoke that spirit to see through you and communicate through you.
Yes.
Um, we had a ceremony. I had a ceremony like that years ago, probably back in 2008. No, maybe about 2009. And I remember one of my friends, he brought over a young lady that was Caucasian. And the spirit would not come because she was there. Real talk. Would
I
not
believe it.
come. And then when I made her leave, I said, I'm sorry, but you have to
Yeah.
leave. You can't be here. Soon as she left, it came right away.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's times when you do this, not just you can have, because a lot of times when I'm doing my ancestral readings, I will call on that person's ancestors.
Right.
So when I'm calling, if I say, well, give me your mother's name, what's your mother's name? You, Orisha, but what's your mother's name?
Oh, my mother, I don't want to say it on
Her
here because
first
I got
name.
a lot of dark
Okay.
energy. But
Okay.
I'll text it to
Well,
you.
that's
I'll text
just
it to you. I'm gonna text it
no.
to you.
Just okay. So pretty much, if when you call me and say, "Well, I need an ancestral reading," all
I'm
right,
gonna,
I'm calling. I'm calling on. Just say Scott's mother's Alice. I'm calling
gotcha.
on
Yep.
the ancestors through her. I'm calling on
Right.
his ancestors, and
Right.
I'm calling through his mother Alice. I need you, your ancestors, to see through me and speak through me. See through me and speak through me.
Yep.
And every time I do that, they come like
Oh
this.
yeah.
So when I'm doing the ancestral reading, and usually I do 3 people at a time for people when I do them, I communicate with them. Okay. So they'll come straight to my visions.
Yep. And shout out
Well,
to the
your
tribe that
grandmother
always
said
come through, boy. That's it's called a mesa. Mesa. That's what it is.
Misa, that's what it's
Thank
called,
you.
right? Misa.
I so appreciate
Right.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Isha.
we couldn't even think of the name.
I knew somebody
So
would know.
yeah, because over here they call it a Misa, but in Europe
Yeah.
it's something else. It's called
Yep.
it's I can't remember. It's almost like something raw or arrow or something like that in Europe. Okay. Now, as I was saying, so when you're calling on when I'm speaking to the ancestors, I'm seeing them. And I'm telling them, well, who is this person? I see this person. I see that person. A lot of times I'll tell them to send me pictures too, so I can kind of summons them and
Confirm.
get a visual. If they don't have pictures, I still can call them.
Yep.
So when you communicate with them, you're asking them questions. What do
Yeah.
like I had one lady I told, I said, your father used to sit up, he told me he used to sit you on his lap and do this. She broke down crying in the spiritual
Yeah.
realm. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I've had people
So
break down during divinations because the message was just so spot on and so clear. And that's another thing, as a diviner, especially like Ifa priests and Orisha priests, like that's how we have to do divination. We have to have your mother's maiden name in order to, like you said, you've got to go through
right,
that mitochondria, you know what I'm saying, through that
right.
the matriarch essence in order to get the activation of the presence or to get, saying, the message. Like that's just the power of the womb man. So it's like that's a
Right.
real thing. And
That's the mitochondrial DNA, y'all.
yes, sir. Yes,
Without,
sir.
because every child, every boy child is born through a woman's vagina.
Yeah.
Every
Fact.
boy child comes from a woman. So at the end of the day, why not?
Every real person on the planet. When you're
Right.
talking about clones, walk-ins, and all the other foolishness that the products of the islands of Dr. Moreau's that's on, because there's a lot of that out there. So we ain't talking about that. We're talking about the real people, organic people from a real organic
Right,
birth.
like real people.
Yeah,
Right.
because there's a lot of people out here y'all seeing that ain't real people. Like for real, for
Right.
real. They're not real
Right.
people. You
Right.
think they're real, but they're not. They
They're
weren't born
not
from a
real.
womb.
They are alien beings.
or
Like
created in a
different type
lab,
of
just like this
beings.
genetic
Right.
modified food. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know we're running short on time, so let me get a couple questions in real quick. Shout out to
Okay.
Queen Liquid Waters. She said, can EI speak more on speaking with the ancestors through telepathy? Like you mentioned last time. I think that came from you and I was talking about. I was sharing a story with you, and it was funny because one time I spoke out loud, which I normally don't do to my shrine. You was like, nope, they want you to keep talking through them through telepathy. I was like, wow, that's crazy. The one time that I do speak, like you tell me not. So I think everybody's different. I know me, that's how I have to communicate with my, because there's these things also called monitoring spirits. People
Spirits,
can
right.
send spirits that monitor. So I know that's why my ancestors be like, nah, you ain't got to talk. You just tell us through here. So is it can you tap into that, like the power in that?
I mean, people better get, y'all got to learn how to get rid of the monitoring spirits too. You can get them out your house. But communicating with your ancestors telepathically, you still got to call out the energy. Whether you beat the drums or whether you call to the water or whether you rise up, ancestors rise. You still want to call them out. You know what I mean? And another thing I didn't share with y'all, a lot of times in Africa too, we put guinea pepper under our tongue. You can put pepper under your tongue. And when you call on them with the pepper under your tongue, and especially when we do it outside and we're barefooted outside on the earth, we put pepper and then you can call your ancestors that way. But once you call them that way, then you can communicate with them telepathically. Okay. You can be quiet, you can listen. A lot of times it's good, especially if you're sitting at your ancestral altar in the home, you can sit there and you can communicate with them telepathically. And you have to be quiet, be in a quiet place, no noise around you, light your candles, give them their offerings and just listen. A lot of times, if you listen, you'll be able to hear them. You'll be able to hear their voices. You'll be able to know that they're there. You know what I mean? That tell them to give you a sign, right? Because you can communicate with your ancestors telepathically. One of the things you got to understand, you are them and they are you. You are your ancestors and ancestors you,
That's sure.
right?
Yeah.
So, I look in this camera right now, I see my mother. I hear the
Yeah.
tone of my mother's voice, and then I hear the tone of my grandmother's voice. I look in the mirror, I see my grandmother's eyes, and I see my mother's face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you are your ancestors and ancestors. So it's very possible because you shared that DNA to utilize that DNA to activate that energy to communicate with them telepathically.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah. That's
Right.
powerful, and it's so funny because I was just
Mm-hmm.
having this conversation after my healing session today. Shout out to Millie, dope session, and she hit me on to some game that I had no idea, that blew my mind. So the tribe who's here in the state of Florida, we got a beach called Siesta Key down in
Mm-hmm.
Sarasota, Florida. I believe it's like ranked in one of the top beaches in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
However, Millie put me on the game to let me know something I had no idea about. That beach has the most beautiful white sand. It has gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
white sand, and the sand it glows, right? If the sun hits it
Mm-hmm.
and it reflects, like you can see, like it shines almost like glitter. I had no idea. She told me today that the reason why that happens is because the sand has quartz crystal in the sand. I'm like, oh, oh, I
Really?
never knew that. It got
Mm-hmm.
quartz crystal in the sand. But that
Mm-hmm.
also, now that I'm saying that to you, that brings me back to Oshogbo, the Ocean Grove. The sand in the Ocean Grove smells like
Whoa.
fragrance. It smells
Mm-hmm.
like perfume. I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
I was putting some in the bag to bring it home, and the brother that was over there with me during our ceremonies, he was at least maybe 6 to 10 feet away from me. And when I started
Mm-hmm.
scooping the sand up to put in the bag to bring some home, I smelt the fragrance. I'm like, yo, what the what? He smelt it too, and he was a few
Mm-hmm.
feet away from me. He's like, yo, is that the sand? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, it's the sand that smells like perfume. You can't,
Right.
I can't make this up. So you talk about Ashe. The
Mm-hmm.
Ocean Grove sand smells like perfume. Like
Like
that is
perfume.
powerful. Like that's powerful,
Mm-hmm.
powerful. For real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
wow.
that's Africa. That's where God is at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gold, oil, and diamonds. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. Oh yeah. All the powerful elements.
They got everything, every element you could think of.
Man, listen. And BJ1K says, can you talk to the ancestors throughout the day mentally? A lot of times, especially when I'm at work driving, and I get messages from my grandfather a little bit.
Let me tell you something. You can talk to him anytime you want. I be in the kitchen, y'all, talking to my ma. What you doing, ma? Ma, tell me how to do this over here. Tell me how to do that in the bed, ma. Tell me what today's gonna be like tomorrow. I'm telling you, I talk to them like I'm talking to y'all. And you can talk to them any time of the day. You don't necessarily have to be at your altar. The altar and the shrine just make it more personal, right? But you can talk to your ancestors 24/7, every hour, every minute, every second. You should, and you should make sure you keep that connection with them. Because
Yeah.
my thing is, the more you connect with them, the more you talk to them, the more they're gonna be with you, and they're gonna start
Yeah.
coming around. You gonna feel them.
Oh yeah. Especially when you
Yeah,
when you feeding them, when you feed them on your shrine, and you feed them every
that's
day,
right.
and you don't have to use a lot, family. Like you can just there's, for example, depending on your living quarters space, you can take a bowl this small and put a little bit of food or whatever you eat, you know what I'm saying, and put it on your
Mm-hmm.
ancestral shrine, your altar, and that's more than enough because it's the energy exchange, it's the reciprocity, it's the honoring, it's the reverence, you know what I'm saying. That's where the power is. So it don't have to be
That's
no
right.
big drawn out elaborate, you know what I'm saying, meal that's going to be a whole nother bill for you that
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
don't
just
put,
take a little dab of whatever
a
you
little
got, you
bit,
know what I'm
right,
saying,
a
and give
little
it to them
bit,
because that's the
right,
power of it. It's like
right.
we know you're the reason that you're here, but the fact that you're honoring us while you're here and you're honoring us and giving praise and homage to that, we're gonna show up here and we're gonna make it do what it do for you because we appreciate you appreciating us. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So it's a real thing.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
And not only that, let me add this to y'all. If you want something, ask your ancestors.
Mm,
Ask your ancestors. Let me tell you, or if you dealing with something, because we
mm,
think we bad, we think we could, us people, we think we could deal with everything, deal with the
mm.
world, deal with it. A lot of times, we be putting on the face. You going through some things. Like for instance, y'all, years ago when my kids get on my nerves because I raised four of them. Two was not mine. It was my sister's because she died. But I raised four babies. And let me tell you something, you have four different personalities to deal with. Now they grown, y'all. I'm happy because they take care of me. But anyway, they get on my damn nerves. Boy, I would call my mother and my grandmother. Look here, deal with them, because they're about to make me go beat all of them. Deal with And on a serious note, there wasn't a time when I didn't call and then kids wouldn't get in order. They didn't get in order. Like I would find myself on a flip side of it, besides them, just stressing out because you're dealing with four different, you're going to this school, you're dealing with that, you're dealing with that. At that time, you were a single mother, you know what I mean? And I just would get stressed out. I would call my ancestors, and every time they would always come and calm me down. And then it would make the kids get in order. This is how powerful y'all got to realize that also the power and the energy that they bring, right? There was times when I'd be, struggling as a single
Yeah,
mother at that time,
yeah,
dealing with this, dealing with that.
yeah,
And I'm like, Mom, Nana, Granddaddy, Daddy,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Y'all need to help me out here, goddamn it. I need some money to pay this light bill.
yeah.
And
That's a
I'm gonna
real
tell y'all like this: every single time, I would never be failed by my ancestors.
That is a real thing. And you know what's so funny? Unam, like, and I promise I'm not making this up either. I got a dog that's an ancestor. My dog Nino. Shout out to Nino Bishop Brown. I told him when he transits, I said, Nino, the world gonna know your name. And I'm not bullshitting. I told him because he was like, that was my dude. He was like my first son. Like he was my dude, he was my ride or die. The Joker lived to
Hmm.
be like 15, 16.
Oh,
But
wow.
our relationship was so dynamic. I wanted to take him out a few times because he was a YN. Before I knew what a YN was, Nino was a YN. So I feel like he
Hmm.
lived up to the name, Nino
Hmm.
Bishop Brown, right? But I say all that
Hmm.
to say, I call on him. I be talking to him all the time because he was like my grandmother. The first time I got a divine message, like you've given me several times from the ancestors, was from a sister that I never spoke to, didn't even know how to hell. We were all connected on Facebook, and she came to me to give me a message from my grandmother. After Nino, I had to put him down because he was real old and his quality of life was bad. So I had to bring him to the pound, and put him down. But she came to me, I think within 2 to 3 days. I put him down Saturday. She came to me Monday through a sister who had a gift like yours that I didn't even
Hmm.
know. And she came to me and she pretty much gave the sister a checklist of things to let me know that it was real. And just like you
Hmm.
said, how you can verify, it was so dope because that was my very first experience experiencing it like that. But she came to
Hmm.
me and told me, your grandma wants you to know she came here holding something that looks like a baby. And she said she wanted to tell you that your baby is safe with me. And I busted out crying and laughing at the same time because I didn't know you could laugh and cry at the same time. But that shit happened that day because it was so powerful to me, for real. Because
Hmm.
that took all the pain and all, you know what I'm saying, how I was feeling. And I was able to
Hmm.
bounce back like, okay, I'm good, man. He was grandma, she with you, lady, I'm good. Let's get it. So it was just dope because now I know he's there with her. I talk shit to him all the time. Like I talk to him just like you said, you talk to the ancestors because I know he's there in the ancestral realm because she got him, and she was a dog lover. Like, she loved dogs like I did. So
And
it's a real.
you know what's crazy? I do pet readings too. And there was a time, I'm gonna say about 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of, especially Caucasians, was calling me for pet readings.
Yeah,
For pet reading, communicating with
yeah,
their pets. Yeah. So
yes.
yeah, that's real.
It's a
Yeah.
real thing, man. Like, for
Hmm.
real. So that's the
Hmm.
power of it. So it's like, I definitely want to, share. We shared a lot with the folks, man. There was a couple of questions I wonder. How much more time? I know we got to get ready to wrap it up soon.
No, come on. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll take the question.
okay, so let me see. I'm gonna scroll through them real quick. But let me ask one real quick, because there was somebody who had one that I want to definitely bring to the floor. When we do the Atare seeds or the guinea peppers or what have you, when we talk to the ancestors, I know some of the prayers that I share with people, excuse me, I usually tell them 7 seeds for females and then 9 for men. So is there a specific number of seeds when we're talking to the ancestors that males or females should put under their tongue or put in their mouth when we're talking to the ancestors?
One.
Just one? Okay.
One, because you put 7 seeds under your tongue while you doing your stuff, and you gonna be burning your tongue
Yeah.
off.
Listen,
No,
so look,
no.
the cheat code to that, the caveat, shout out to Yaya. She the one put me on the game with this, is like, because certain prayers, we have to have them in our mouths, right? So she
Right.
told me, put them up here, like up in your, you know what I'm saying, up in your mouth,
Hmm.
like between your cheek and your
Hmm.
gum while you're
Hmm.
doing the prayer. And then if it's a prayer that calls for you to chew them up and spit them out or whatever, then you do that at the end, because your mouth will be
Hmm.
burning up if you're
You
using
sure
the real
will.
one. Yeah.
Right, the
Yeah.
real one, your mouth will be burned up, and there, she's right. There's certain ways you would do it that way, and there's
Right.
certain way, like when you're doing certain, like there's a certain commanding tool that I have, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with that commanding tool, I only need 4, right?
Mm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
one's very powerful. But at the end of the day, I chew them, and then I speak into the commanding, right?
Mm.
So that's very powerful too. That one you have to chew and then speak. So there's different ways you could do it, but with
What
the
was it?
ancestor one, you just need one. Put it
Okay.
under your tongue,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
speak with it in your mouth. And
Mm.
usually after you're done, I chew it up and I just swallow with some water.
Got you. I
Right.
share.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is definitely one of the ones. There's some more. I'll get to y'all too, Tribe, but this one I wanted to share too. Shout out to Lady Nightwalker. She said, "Are there any do's or don'ts when you're caring for your ancestral altar?"
What you don't want to do is you don't want to have a dirty ancestral altar.
Yeah.
I see some people don't clean up. I
Keep
believe in
that
making
water
sure I
clear and
take in my
fresh.
ancestors, right? Keep your water fresh. You also want to make sure that if you do give offerings, don't leave it no longer than 3 days. And then also too, make sure you keep it nice, keep it pretty, keep your ancestor altar like you would want your body clean. You understand? Keep it nice, clean, wipe it off. If you got a white cloth, if anything gets in there, wash the cloth. Make sure you keep your, fresh candles on there. Sometimes when I'll do ancestral reading, they'll tell me, well, we want some white flowers, and I'll put white flowers on there. Once they die, take them off. So you always want to keep it clean. Don't let it get dirty. Don't let your water get dirty either. Okay? Keep
Yeah.
your ancestor altar clean. And
Yeah.
also, too, try not to let nobody see your ancestor altar. That's
Mm-hmm.
private.
Yeah.
Don't keep your ancestor altar in your room, your bedroom either.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing the do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're having sexual relations, don't keep it in your
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Try to keep your ancestor altar private, where you can have a little space where it's just you and them. Don't keep it out where people could be looking and be nosy.
Yeah. And
Okay.
another thing too, and because some people, everybody is not fortunate to have an extra room or have, space where they can have
Right.
a separate spot for the shrine. So at least the one thing you can do too is get a divider. Like, get some, even if you live in a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment, whatever, you don't have the luxury of having that space, get a divider, like a room divider or something that you can kind of cover up and put around your ancestral shrine. So at least that way, you know what I mean? It's like, it's still like
Or
some
you can
sort of
put it,
wall.
or I like to have them sometime if they have a little corner, they can take a white cloth and put it on the floor in the closet or something
Yeah.
like that. You could do
Yeah.
that too. That's a
Some
good
people
idea.
even use a
Divider's
cabinet.
good too.
Some people use a cabinet. You know what I'm saying? You can
Right?
put them like in a
Right. You
cabinet
can put
and
a cabinet in a
or your
closet, right?
closet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
closet. And even the dividers, yeah, because it's sacred. You want, and
Right.
so
It's sacred, right. Now another thing I do, I build many ancestor shrines. I build portable ones.
hmm,
Okay. I used to
yep,
sell those a lot, and I sell like enemy shrines a lot too, but I built the mini ones so they could take with you.
yeah,
Like one of my clients, actually you probably met him, Orisha Bemi. He's in one of the classes. He's from Bahamas, but his mother did not like him to have no type of shrines. So I had to build him a mini dwarf shrine so he could hide it and take it with him, and she ended up throwing that away. Oh yeah, she was being bad.
Yeah, I want to grab my Opai Cool because I was going to show the tribe like I did on the private call. Like you can get those too. The Opai Cools are good. I like those because I like to travel with mine. Because when I'm traveling, a lot of times when I travel, I'll bring my Opai Cool with me. You know, because it's a consecrated shrine, and and y'all can look it up. It's a consecrated shrine. Mine is probably about. It's not even this big. It's a little smaller than this, but it has, you know, the cowrie shells on it, and it's dope. I don't want to run off and get it now, but that's another one that we could do. And then I need to get with you about the little mini one you showed.
I'm gonna get one. Which one? Which one are you talking about?
The one you showed Saturday. You remember that one?
Which one did I show y'all? Oh, you're talking about this one.
It was like small. It was brown, and it had like a
yeah,
it almost reminded me of a brick and not a brick, but a mortar. What do you call those things when you
I know what you're talking about. You know, with the ancestors stuff, with that glass thing Invoke, and then you put the it looks like the Egungun. Where's it? Oh, shit. Bring it for me. It should be up there. You're talking about this one right here.
Yes, ma'am. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah. This right here, this has a spirit in it, and it has rocks in here. Now, this is not an ancestor shrine. This is a shrine that I do spiritual work with. So I might send her out to do work for me. Right. Okay. So you're talking about this one right here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the one I shared. Yeah, mine's is similar. Yep. Yeah, that's what we call it, Opaiku. Is that? Do y'all call it Opaiku too, or something different?
It's the same. It's the same.
Okay.
But this one right here, this one came in a bottle, and it was enclosed in a bottle. So it was in the bottle. I had to put it in here though. The bottle broke. Somebody dropped it, and this whole glass is filled with gin. And there's a certain medicine we put in Africa in this. And each day you take a shot, you spit it on the ground, deal with my enemies, known and unknown.
That's dope. I like that.
Right.
Look,
so that one, that one's powerful. And it came in a bottle, enclosed bottle, And I've had that for many, many years. But that one, you have to keep gin in it, and then there's a medicine we put inside. And you take a shot in the morning, get up, spit it on the ground, deal with my enemies, known and unknown. Very powerful. Yeah.
That is powerful. That's what's up. Yes, sir. Chloe Dior said, "Yeah, I need that in my life." Chloe, we can hook you up now because I got some folks I'm about to put some together for, so we can definitely hook you up if you're serious and you want them. You know.
Yeah, if you want it, yeah.
Yep. And
now I had that one sent for me from back home from one of my sons. He had it shipped to me from Africa.
I should.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, and shout out to Queen. I believe she's a child of Emo Ja. She said it looks like Egbe. It does remind me of Egbe. The Yeleke that you had with it too, that was on your shrine that you just shared. That definitely looks Egbe.
Which one are you talking about? This one? This one?
I think she was talking about. I want to say she might have been talking about the other one. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure which one she's talking about.
Oh, okay.
But I know that
I have Egbe. That's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah. But that Ileke that you I don't have mine on. Ileke that you had that was like connected to your ancestral shrine, it looked similar to Egbe, but I got an Egungun Ileke that looks similar to Egbe too. So those I think they kind of similar.
That's a different. That's an Egungun, but a different type of angle. That's for enemies.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tribe. Wunam gave me a set time, man, that we was gonna be able to do this because we do got a lot of work we still gotta do tomorrow. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably get ready to wrap it up. And then matter of fact, we got another one coming tomorrow. I'll be doing this again tomorrow. I think at 10. I gotta set it up and I'll share the links and all that tomorrow. We're gonna do transmuting the energy of the holidays with IMG Marty tomorrow night, tribe. So we'll be back again. So yeah, we're gonna tap into that because it's a lot to be going on with these holidays. I know with the harvesting of energies and and raiding folks' pockets and all this other foolishness they be having
Yeah,
going on.
it's funny y'all say that because I was in the store tonight and I'm just thinking, look at these damn fools. I'm not
Yes.
being funny. Like y'all
Yeah.
spending y'all, you getting me. Now I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why we do it because
Yeah.
it's to everybody's off tomorrow. So with
Mhm.
me, we said, we call it Family Day because
Yeah.
somebody at the store was like, "Oh, Happy Thanksgiving." I was like, "Happy Family Day." Right? Happy
Yeah.
Family Day. Because
Yeah.
at the
Every
end of
day
the
is a
day, this is
holiday.
the
If I
day,
wake up and I'm breathing, it's a
right?
goddamn holiday. Every
Right,
day
it's
is
a
a holiday
holiday,
for me.
right. Not only that, what I did is we start bringing back because of we ain't worried about the damn holidays. Once a month, all the family gets together and we all have dinner together.
I
We don't just
sure.
wait to one goddamn day of the year, but
Yeah.
we do because everybody's off at the same time.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know. So yeah,
And that's
but
cool too.
the other stuff don't pertain to us. Thanksgiving,
Not
my
at all.
ass. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't a
Eh,
part of who we are and a part of our culture. You know.
mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Parasites sucking, leeching and sucking off the
They
blood
want
and the
your money.
finances.
That's all. They
There you
want
go.
your money.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why
For
we're doing the
sure.
one tomorrow to talk about the transmuting the, what I'm saying, that energy, because everything is for a reason. Everything. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like we're gonna talk about that too. But no, I definitely appreciate it. I definitely give
Yes.
thanks and gratitude. Shout out to everybody who came through tonight that made it happen, and made it do what it do, because I'm gonna definitely spend time with my family too. But I just don't, I don't support their cause of why we do what we do. So but
Right. Right.
you want to lead the tribe with anything on the way out? No?
Well, what I do want y'all to do is make sure you set up your ancestral altars
I
because
sure.
your ancestors are waiting for you. Do not sleep on it. Set up your ancestral altars. Get serious about it. You know what I mean? If you have pictures, another thing I want to share with you all, a lot of people didn't have pictures. If you don't have pictures, what I would do is I would do a little artwork, put their names in a little tiny frame, and I would make sure that, I would still put it on the ancestral altar because everybody don't have pictures. But make sure you talk to your ancestors. Pay homage to them. Embrace your ancestors. And just know when you need them, whether you going through some mental anguish, children problem, man problem, woman problem, call your ancestors because they gonna come. They gonna come for you. So just make sure you pay homage to your ancestors. And again, call on them as well. Rise them, ask them to rise up on your behalf
Yes,
every
sir.
day.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, that's facts. And too, on the way out, I'm gonna say this. Matter of fact, shout out to Classic. I think it's Classic L. Every day I wake up, how that's real. It was a song. I can't remember who it was. He was from the Dungeon family. I'm sure somebody in the
Uh-huh.
tribe knows. But there was a song called "Every Day Is a Holiday." It was a dope song. I can't remember, but that's
Hmm.
real. It really is, because I feel like every day I wake up. That's a reason to give thanks. That's something to celebrate. Shit,
That's right.
Creator
That's
woke me
right.
up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
That's
here.
right.
So, and
That's
it's funny
right.
when I saw the people. They be like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm doing good, man. I woke up. Everything else can be figured out. Like, I don't care what else
That's
happens.
right.
I'm gonna figure that out. But I woke up.
Don't
That's the part
figure
that
that.
wasn't
That's
on me.
right.
Like, so now that I woke
Right.
up, I feel like now I gotta figure whatever else out. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's on me. I'm gonna figure that out. But the waking up part, that's
Hmm.
on the Creator. I give thanks. That's why that's a holiday. So
That's right.
yep.
That's right,
Yes, sir.
family.
Yeah, man. So before we roll, y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna definitely be sharing the links for Wunam's children book, when it's ready and it's dropping, and we'll probably hopefully we'll come
It's
back and do it
December
again.
2nd, on December 2nd, and also we relaunched our website back up. Is the store Africa's Gift dot
Yes, sir.
com.
Okay. I
Okay.
share. And I had to share that with y'all too, tribe. I got it, but it's gonna take me a minute to transmute to transfer it. So I'll post it on the channel. And then if y'all want to get deeper and way more in depth with these kind of conversations, join the Patreon, because I got a free tier of the Patreon. The link is in the bio of the channel as well. And then Wunam, how can they connect with you in the school? Because Wunam also has a private community, the school community. How can they connect with you with the school community, Wunam?
They can go on the school, it's spelled SKOOL.
Okay.
And if you go on the school, look for the Wunam School of Mysteries.
I sure. Yes, sir. Y'all
Excuse
tap
me,
into that too.
let me get it right. The Wunam Temple of Mysteries.
I sure.
Wunam Temple of Mysteries on the school app. And we just, do different topics, talk about energy of the week. That's another thing we need to do with you, learn how to read with water, learn how to read with fire, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
some
do it.
stuff.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be
Hmm.
doing I'm gonna put together a presentation this week, tribe. I'll let y'all know, but we're gonna work on the basic yes, no, maybe answers for divination with the coconut shells, and then And you can even use 4 pennies for that matter. If you know the system and you know how to, communicate with the oracle, you can use it with 4 pennies. But I'm gonna teach you with the 4 shells. So yeah, we definitely, I'm all about collaboration over competition all day, every day. That's how we've been from day one. So
that's how we do.
Yes, sir.
You gotta teach me about them 4 shells. I know every way of divination, but I ain't know how to do it with the 4 coconut shell. You gotta teach me that.
I got them things right here, man. So when I get it set up for the these are fancy joints right here. These like fancy joints. I bought these, but
okay.
I normally do them. I make them like usually like whenever I do like an Ibori, like a Ori cleansing or whatever for clients. When I use the coconut, I'll actually take the actual coconut shells and then I just keep them, and put them together, and then so you have the light side, and then you have the dark side, and then that's how you determine, what is what. And there's 5 patterns, that you can get.
Where'd you go? Did we lose you? I don't see you.
My bad. I messed around and tried to put the shell down and got myself off screen. So yeah, there's 4 patterns: Alafia, Ijife, Etawa, Oyeku, and Okanra. So you have Alafia. It's deep because you have the multiple. You can pretty much come up with 5 different patterns that'll give you a yes, a no, or a maybe. And then depending on how you it may be, and that's usually 3 of the shells are light, 1 is dark. But we're gonna definitely go deep into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with you on that right there because I do a lot of different. As a matter of fact, just to let you know, I design divination systems. So I designed one for the Iami and one for the water god, water spirits.
And then let's not forget this one. Which one is this one? Because as a matter of fact, I didn't even get a chance to tap in with this one yet. Which one is this one that you made?
Those are that's African magic. Those are rituals. You ain't looking there? Go open that thing and look at them rituals you could do up in there.
I'm gonna tap into it tonight.
Those are African magic. So that's African magic 1. Now, African magic 2 is really for people that have been pretty much trained in tradition. And that one's going to involve using goats and
I got you know what I mean? And all that. I got you.
Right. That one's going to be more, mostly for the advanced one. But that one is basically for people who, playing around, learning rituals and stuff like that. That one is to give you, different rituals you do. Like if you can't pull out one just so you'll see.
Putting new tools in your tool belt. That's what it's about.
Right. Yes, it's for anybody, because a lot of people are coming into spirituality now. And, I get people want to they don't want to get into the African traditions like that. They want to do rituals.
Right.
Well, that's what that's for.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, that's why y'all got to join, man. Join the school and join the Patreon. And I'm gonna share the links when the show goes live and we got the episodes and all that. I'll put all the links in there, family, so you'll be able to tap the link in the description of the show. So I'll definitely add those to it as well. So we're gonna make it happen.
That lady got a question. She asked about her ancestors that reincarnated.
Which one? Hold on, let me find it. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, right here.
Right.
Okay.
If my granny them, she must be West Indian. If my granny them reincarnated back here or somewhere else.
Why I say it again? Why I talk about no? You see?
Exactly, right? That's that Jamaican patois. Okay.
Yeah.
If my granny them reincarnated back here or somewhere else, do they still meet? Do they still hear me? Yes, they do. But a lot of times, and this is mostly an African tradition, your ancestors reincarnate through the bloodline. Okay. So like when my mother died, my mother transitioned in 2010. My granddaughter came back in 2012 as my mother. And it was the same thing with me. My great grandmother transitioned in 1968. And I came back as her. If I show y'all her pictures, you'll bug out. It's my great grandmother. Right? So usually in African traditions, when an ancestor comes back, it comes back through one of the lines. However, they would still hear you. But remember, when they reincarnate, you will know. If you're able to see and communicate with ancestors like that, like we do in Africa, that person is no longer an ancestor now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you got to remember, it's energy. Now, because a lot of people have a question, well, if she came back to your granddaughter, there's still the energy of the essence of her old physical body. But trust me when I tell you, my granddaughter acted just exactly like my mother. As a matter of fact, she called my name one day and I thought it was my mother. Right? So I know it was my mother that came back, but they still have that essence. Okay. And that tells you right there why we always say I am my ancestor and my ancestors me, because we share the same DNA. So some of that DNA stays in ancestral.
Yeah, that's a real thing. That's where you get when you hear people say, well, that baby got an old soul. That baby been here before. Like, that's real. Like, that is real. You see it. There's babies that come. Sometimes there's newborn babies fresh out the oven that'll come, and as soon as they born, they still in the little swaddle. And they looking around like, okay, I'm back. Okay, let's get, like, they looking around like I'm talking about like they know what's going on, like they know what's popping. Like, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. I got family members. My little nephew, I know he a whole babalawo out here, and I don't know who he is, but I wish to God I had some of his skills and his attributes. He can't be nothing but like 9 years old, but he can tell you what it is, how it is. Like, I mean, to a point where you might not like what he's saying, but you have to respect it because he's saying it in a respectable way. So pretty much he can tell you about yourself, but he's not being loud. He's not talking like, you know what I'm saying, raising his voice. He ain't cutting. But you're like, God damn, but he's advanced. You know what I'm saying? That's an old soul. So that I don't know which answer he came back, but he came back. Like, for real, for real. Yes, sir.
Back. So he's on your maternal, your paternal, maternal side.
Maternal. That's my sister's son. I call him my little CEO because he's so far advanced. It's not even funny, man. Like, for real. And there's a lot of them out there like that too.
Now I will tell you this: there's new soul, there's reincarnated souls that's coming back through the, excuse me, to the mother's side. And then there's new souls that's coming back. Now you will be able to recognize the new souls. They're not reincarnated. The new souls are super, super spiritual. They are smart. They are way more advanced than we ever could be on this planet. You said he knows things, right?
Yeah,
if he knows things,
he's just okay. How can I put it? He would be the equivalent of, and I'm not exaggerating. He would be the equivalent of me having a conversation, excuse me, with like a Professor Small or a Professor Kaba Cabernet as a 9-year-old. Like, that's the best way for me to put it, because like it's surreal. Like, I really admire his level of not just maturity, but his wisdom and the way he communicates. And I feel like I'm a decent communicator, humbly speaking, but God damn it, I'm serious. Like, I wish I had his ability to communicate, because that's how far advanced it is. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I don't give anything more than what it is, and I don't take away, anything that should be given. But that's how real it is. Like, so it's dope.
He's a newer soul. Spirit just showed me he's a newer soul coming back.
That makes sense.
And these new souls are newly created souls. Okay. And they are 10 times more spiritual. They have super power abilities, but they won't show just yet. He's too young. Okay. But
I really feel it. I see it and I feel it.
You see it. It's gonna come, but he's too young to take responsibility of that energy. But he will. When he's a teenager, he will.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a new soul. I don't even see that. Was there anybody in your family on your maternal side that died maybe prior to him being born?
I have to think about that.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing is that I could be wrong, because I don't profess to be 150% right. But what I'm seeing,
I don't believe that you are. You ain't know. I know all the
he's
stuff
a
you
new soul. Yeah. You'll see. You'll tap in
I
after
believe you to be
Ifo.
spot on, because everything you ever told me was spot on. So I don't see why it's gonna be wrong now. I never heard of that. So that makes sense though. It makes sense because I'm telling you, it's different. Like, it is different. And mind you, you have advanced children that come back that are very advanced and also all that. But his is it really is different. And he's not the only one. There's a few of them that I know personally, like, that are like that. Like, there's some Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense
Right.
though. That makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
one last one, if you don't mind, because this I like this is a
Okay.
good one.
Can you
Lady
some water, please?
Lady
Okay,
Nightwalker
go ahead. I'm
says,
listening.
Lady Nightwalker said, "Can your soul house more than one ancestor? More than one ancestor? Excuse me, more than one ancestor during reincarnation?"
No.
Gotcha.
Now, what you can do, you can now, if you're able to summon your ancestors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. If you're able to summon your ancestors, so like I can summon my mother, I can summon my grandmother, I can summon my father, right? And you can summon more than one ancestor to come in your body to speak. You can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But usually you know your soul is not gonna you're not gonna have two ancestors in one soul.
Yeah.
But now, if you want to get real technical with it, because we are our ancestors and our ancestors is us, and because we share the same DNA, you can have the energy of all your ancestors in one blood. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
want to get technical. But for the most part, I know that I am my great grandmother coming back. And I'm gonna tell y'all, Terrell, bring me bring me my grandmother's picture off the altar, the ancestral altar. I'm gonna show y'all something.
That's a real thing too, though, Wunam, because I've heard both Professor Smalls, Barbara Smalls, and Professor Kaba
That picture in the living room.
break down how many ancestors, there's millions of ancestors that it took for us to come into existence. So think about it. If they all were here before us and they were the progenitors that led us to be here, then they all technically, I feel like through DNA, they all are part of us. They are part of us.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Well,
So whether
yeah,
it's
right.
all those souls are housed in that same body or not, it don't matter, because DNA, is still connected. It's all
That's what I'm
connected
saying. It's the
together.
DNA. Right.
Yes.
So
And we can
that's why I said if
access
you
it.
want to get technical,
Yes.
now look at this, y'all.
Oh my, yeah. Wow. Hold on. Let me highlight.
Can y'all see that? And there's some glare to it, but
Yeah, ain't no
y'all
arguing
see
that.
that?
Ain't no arguing that.
That's my great grandmother, and she's from Africa.
Ain't no arguing that, buddy.
Everybody says, "Oh my goodness, you look just like her," right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing. That's
Right.
a
So
real.
she died in 1968,
Mm,
and I'm gonna tell y'all something. She didn't speak English.
mm,
She spoke African tongue, which is Creole, but it's mixed with Wola, Fulani, and Portuguese,
mm.
right? And sometimes when I'm sleeping, my husband said I'd be speaking Creole in my sleep. Now I know how to speak it, like not real fluent like she did. She didn't even speak English. She was African. But anyway, I know that I came back as her. That, and I'm gonna tell y'all why, because of the stories that I've heard over the years, how she did not play. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, my grandmother told me stories that when she would come, if they would go out, she would come into the club and get them out the club, and they were 20 something years old. She did not play, right? So, I'm that way with my daughters. So I'm very, big on my daughters. And to this day, they tell me, "Well, we're grown now." I said, "You'll never be grown in my eye." She didn't play. My grandmother didn't play. My mother's mother, which was also African, my mother was African. So they did not play when it came to certain things. But her right there, they say I act just like that one I just showed y'all. And that's my great grandmother. Yeah. So I just want to show y'all that because everybody it's like, "Oh my goodness, you look just like her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. No, it is
Hmm.
a real thing. Ah, Shay. Nah,
Yeah.
I
All of
definitely
them
think
very powerful. She was the third. I'm the fifth traditional healer in the family. She was the third, one, two, three. My grandmother, she was the second after her mother. Now her mother was from Bamaleke.
mm,
Right,
mm.
right.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. Let me
Hmm.
see this one more. Let me see this nice. All right. Boogie 1207 says, my daughter's grandmother passed 3 months before my daughter was born, and she looks just like her grandmother, and we've never met the woman. I thought this was interesting. Yeah, well, you just saw the same thing. Like, as far as like with, with Unam, but yeah, it's real. And mind you, this is something I know firsthand, is like even when we transition and come back, we can bring back some of our own Ashe back with us. Like, I know
you can.
Fact, I had Ashe from my last one of my, or maybe all my lifetimes, but definitely the last lifetime, that came back with me through this one, because when my very first divination, it was revealed that I was a healer, and you know what I'm saying, and I did the same work in my last lifetime, and so the same Ashe came back with me into this lifetime. So that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
You know what? I haven't done a past life reading for you, have I?
We haven't done an ancestor one yet either. So yeah, I'm ready. But yeah, but that first one I ever had.
Because I do past life readings too.
Let's do it, because the very first
a
one
lot
I
of
had,
times that does come up in the past life readings, that what you do now, you was a healer back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she told me that. The very first one I ever had in my life, she told me that you brought Ashe back with you from the last lifetime. So you was destined to become, a healer, to become, a priest, healer, whatever you want to call it, therapist, whatever you want to call it. But it came back with me from the last lifetime, from the previous incarnation. So
see, so yeah. Yeah, see?
It's powerful. Yes,
Come on.
sir.
I was trying to show you the black cat, but he's over here. Come here.
Listen, I'm gonna get me one of them jokers, boy. They coming sooner. They're gonna come. Yes, sir. Is that the one that be looking like the owl?
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
His brother. The other one looks like the owl.
Listen, they can look. I know they're on the way, because like I said, you see that picture. I don't know if I sent you the picture. I might have seen that picture.
I was looking for you. Didn't send it to me.
I'm gonna send it.
Okay, send it to me.
Beautiful big black cat too, man. I'm gonna send that.
He's I called him I got a picture someone did for me years ago when I'm in the book coming out the bushes with 2 black panthers.
Listen,
and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. When I get up in the morning, come here, Tahuti. His name is Tahuti. He's right here, the one that looks like the owl. Come, get out of there. Come here. I'm trying to show you him. That's the one who looks like the owl. That's the one who's more me. Come here.
Yes,
come here. You hissing at? What you hissing at? This is the one who looks like the owl.
Yes, sir. I see them eyes going already. Oh my God, it do. Hold on, let
me. Get up there. Get up there. I'm getting heavy. They all fat.
That's crazy. He really do look like his face, like even the way his ears are pointing, look like
his ear. I told you. Yeah, we're talking about you.
That is dope. That's dope.
Yeah. His name is Tahuti, and the other one, his name is Ra.
Oh, that's dope.
Sun God Ra.
That's dope. Yeah, man. I got a plant named Ra. Shout out to my plant named Ra, my plant baby.
Yeah, those are my babies right there, but they're very magical.
Oh yeah. Listen, that one you should have a picture, but the one that showed up Sunday was magic. Like, I'm telling you, and I honestly feel like that same one, and mind you, we talking about not a long distance, but several blocks away where I feed the mothers. And the one that I saw the night after I fed the mothers, the week that Asada Shakur transitioned, it looked just like the one I sent you a picture. It was a big, beautiful black cat, and it was sitting in the position like boss, like the way it was sitting, it was unbelievable. I'm like, the dynamics of the synchronicity was crazy. But she said, Kia Beauty says, wait, are cats associated with the Iami?
Oh yes, definitely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, let me tell you how deep it is. When I get up and I get ready to go and feed them, they walk in front of me as if they're leading me. Both of them together. You got to see it. I walk and they're both walking like two panthers walking in front of me, leading me. And they're very protective too. But yes, the black cats, especially in Africa, represent the Iami.
Yeah, I can't wait to get mine.
That's why I keep them. Yeah,
I know mine coming. I know that.
I had to get 2 so to keep the other one company, but both of them represent the Iami.
Balance. Real quick, because I know we gotta get out of here, so I'm not gonna hold you. But somebody, what's the website for me to send? I got a tribe member that wants to get a contact with you to get a divination. What's the contact I should send them as far as your website?
You can send it
or a number.
Oh, they could, you know what? Give them the number 909.
Okay.
749. 8626.
Okay, I put it in the chat, tribe. That's aim to raw at aim to raw. Here's the number in the chat for you too, family. So you can copy and paste it right up out of there. And then, like I said, in the show description, I'll post a link to the website as well. So we'll have all that up there for you.
Okay. And remember, y'all, the book is coming out on December 2nd. Ancestral Love, Nia, and the Talking Candle. And it's for the children, for the babies.
I share. And hold on.
All right.
Shoot.
The website, the Africa's is the store Africa's Gift, right? The store africasgift.com.
Storesafricagift.com. Oh, you know what? Let me run it. I could copy and paste it real quick. I forgot I had posted it in the Patreon. So let me run into. I'm gonna shoot over to the Patreon, the other screen real quick. 1 second, because I did post that on the replay for our call from last week. So I'm gonna copy it, and then because he had just sent it to me when I had right when I posted that up. So let me see. Hopefully it translate. Here we go. Boom. All right, family. So the link is in the comments to connect with the website for Wunam as well. If y'all want to support by getting some products or divination consultations, ancestral readings, all that good stuff, man. The link is in the comments. I'm gonna share it on the screen too. But for y'all in the comments, you can copy and paste it and click right on the link, so that way it'll drive you right to it, right to the website. Okay, that's what's up. So yeah, I appreciate you, Wunam. So I'm gonna get out of here because I know you were gracious enough to give me some extra time because I know the time you told me. So I'm gonna shut this thing down, and I'll definitely reach out to see when I can get my scheduled sessions, and we'll go from there. And then shout out to Baba. I'm gonna holler at y'all, and I give gratitude and thanks. And so when the book is ready, let me know. I'll definitely post it in the channel comments, and then I'll post it into the description of the show, and then hopefully we can come back and talk about it again, and once it's out and all that good stuff too.
Okay. Well, we'll probably come back and talk about the next one because right after that one, the other one's coming out. The Forest Finds Me.
I share.
Yeah, that one is a little bit more deeper in reference to how we're connected to the first mothers on the planet throughout DNA, throughout African DNA, through the actually haplogroup DNA.
I share. And at the Unique Tribe, I see your comment. I trust and believe. I'm gonna get you. Well, I just shared when I was the number. So if you can get the number out of it. She said, I'm getting mixed connections. I know my mom's side of the family, and I feel them highly, but I also feel energy from my father's side, even though I don't know them. Where would I begin? But you remember we talked about that Unique Tribe. But Wunam, what you got for that? What do you have for her?
Well, okay, so if you don't know your father's side, it's okay. All you do is you call on, remember, you always call through your maternal side. So when you call into your maternal side, I'm calling on all my ancestors, but I'm calling through my mother, right? But you can also say, after you call through your mother, I ask the ancestors of my father to reveal themselves. You understand? Ask them to reveal. They'll come to you in a dream or tell them to give you a sign, but you can still call them even though you don't know their names.
Yeah.
Right? Just say, I'm calling on the ancestors through my paternal side. Rise up, ancestors. I need to see you. I need to know who you are. Okay? And trust me, they're going to come.
Oh, yeah.
If you get weird dreams about you maybe, a strange man or woman that you've never seen before, that may be a paternal grandmother.
She know what I mean? Because I told her, like, she's in the private community. So she's the one you read her in the call. And what's crazy is she actually booked a consultation with me, and I think I told you about it. And they picked up. Yeah, I just told you about that either today or yesterday. They picked up right where you left off. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, because you read it based off of what you saw. But when I divined on it, you know what I'm saying, with through the consultation, they picked up right where you left off from the call and they went in with it. I'm like, yo.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
man.
Yeah, but just call on them. You don't have to know their names. You know, you do not have to know their names. You just call them.
There's no limit.
And they're gonna come, and they're gonna look. They're gonna let you know.
Oh yeah. Look,
they'll find a way.
Yeah.
See.
Yes, sir.
Okay, y'all, look, them greens are smelling real good.
That's
They
what I
probably
said.
done by
Listen, yeah,
now.
like I said, you already gave us extra overtime. So look, I appreciate you. So with that, family, we'll be back tomorrow night, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Okay.
And thank y'all for the love, support, the new subscribes, all the good stuff. Wunam, I appreciate all the work that you do and all the
You're so
pouring in
welcome.
that you do for us in the tribe. And we're gonna keep this thing going and then over till we win, and we're gonna already win. So we're gonna get it in. So let's do it.
We already won.
Yes, sir. I love it.
All right. All right.
All right,
Toimu
family.
Ashe.
We'll see y'all later, family. Peace. Odabo, we out,
Peace.
family.
Adabo.
ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjà kọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe ní gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors embrace your.